All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so our focus for today is on sword practice. The style of sword we're going to be doing today is called Haidong Kumdo, which is a Korean sword style. It looks a lot like Kendo, Japanese, like samurai style sword play. All the techniques that we're going to do today. It's going to be very simple, very basic. Looks like I'm having some trouble with connection. No, it's good. Okay. So if you're a more advanced person as it comes to swords go, this video is probably not going to be for you. But if you're just starting out, this is a good introduction to a lot of the basic cuts and blocks and things of that nature. So if you don't have a practice sword like this here, this is my practice sword. You can use any toy sword you have at home. I showed a couple examples yesterday. Umbrella, okay? As long as you have mom or dad's permission, this can be used as a sword for your practice purposes. Also, we keep these foam noodles here, these pool noodles. You can take one, cut it in half, and then tape up one side. We made lightsabers, so for our games and stuff like that. So this is a good tool. If you can't cut the pool noodle, just use the whole thing. And then also I went outside and just grabbed a stick and that can be used as your sword. Just be careful. Like this one has a lot of like pricks and stuff. So if you have a stick with branches on it and you're allowed to like shave it down, I would do that before practicing, but this is just an example. But at the base here, there aren't a lot of pricks, so I could use this no problem for my first couple of practices. Okay. You can also use a broom handle, the end of a mop, all that stuff as well. But just, again, make sure you have mom or dad's permission before you start just practicing whatever you feel like. If you have questions about how to make your sword, or if you don't have a sword, what you can do is you can follow along with me and just practice with the grip and imagine you have the sword in your hand. You can still get a lot done and practice the technique even though you don't have a physical item in your hands. So if you don't have a sword, that's fine. Just follow along with the hand motions and imagine your sword is in your hand. So that'll work too. If you have questions about making your sword or anything like that, what else you can use, go ahead, type it in the chat. I'm going to give it about 2 more minutes and then we'll get started with our warm up and everything else. Also, say hi if you're here. All right, I'm going to give it about 30 more seconds and then we'll just go ahead and start with the exercise today. All right, well, let's get going. I don't see any questions in the chat. I'm going to just be using my practice sword. Okay, so first we are going to start with our warm-up and get some good stretching in, okay? So we're going to set our sword down to the side. And sword practice is a lot of upper body, shoulders, and things like that. So we're going to make sure we get that stretched out real nice. What's up, Ben? Yeah, a stick is fine. Yeah, anything. You don't even need to have a sword. You can honestly follow along with nothing in your hands. That would work because it's all about the technique today anyway. So no big deal. Let's get going with our neck rotations. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hip rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're getting here late, you guys can use an umbrella, a broom handle, a pool noodle, anything that looks like a sword. You know, you can use gift wrap, the cardboard tubing that goes inside your gift wrapping paper. That's also a good one too, quick and easy. All right, back to our stretching. Arm across, give it a pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arm up and behind, give it a pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arm rotations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bear hugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Russian twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very nice. Okay. Now that we're warmed up, if you have your sword, okay, you're going to grip it with 2 hands. Okay. Now, at base of the sword, let me get this close. You can see on my practice sword here, this is the edge of the hilt. Okay. So we're grip right at the top of the hilt, with the back of my sword pointing straight up in the air and the blade or the bottom of it pointing downward. Okay. And I'll grip it with the crease in my thumb, my hand, right at the top. Okay. So that's where that should go there. And then the base of my hand grabs the very back of the hilt, the bottom. Okay. That's how you get your cutting power, because you're pushing with the top arm. That's your pivot point. And then the base pulls. Okay. So when you cut, okay, your finishing motion is like this. Okay. So one arm is pushing it, the other arm is pulling it down. Colton and Gavin, nice. If you missed the beginning of the video, just grab a pool noodle, some sticks out in the yard, literally anything that looks like it could be a sword, grab it, use it. If you don't have a sword or anything that can be used as a sword, just have your bare hands, okay? So, to practice your grip without the sword, okay, your thumb in a tight fist should be pointing sideways, okay, like that. And then the other hand is mimicking that, and they overlap, okay? Your dominant arm should be the one at the top. Your off hand should be the one at the bottom. So for me, this is my right arm. That one goes at the top. The other one goes at the bottom. Okay, perfect. So that is your grip here, okay? So that's how you're holding the sword. That's the most important part, is the grip. Don't have your hands connected together if you can help it. Okay? They should be a little bit apart so you can get that push-pull motion, and that's how we can cut effectively. Okay? So now that we have the grip, all right? We have the grip here. I just want you, the tip of the sword should rest at a straight line from your eye level. Okay? Out in front. Round about that. So your arms are usually going to be down somewhere by your waist, or your hands are going to be down somewhere by your waist at the resting point, and the tip of the sword should be up at your eye level here. Okay? Now you want to get into a good stance. Left leg or right leg in front, you can choose. I like to put my left leg in front because my right arm is my power arm. Okay? But you can do from either side. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, that's what matters the most. Bentley, what's up, buddy? All right, so we're in this position. We have our grip. Our basic cut is going to be straight up and down, okay? So I'm going to show you without the sword first, just in case you guys don't have one, okay? So what you do, you're in this position, you're going to pull your arms back behind your head and then slice down halfway, okay? Here to here, okay? Now I'll show you with the sword, okay? Pull it back. It's almost touching your back, okay? The bottom of the hilt is pointing straight up in the air, okay? And then we slice down right to our starting position. This would be to cut or to hit right on top of the forehead, okay? Straight back, straight to that piece there, okay? So from behind here, when you pull it back, it goes right down your spine, okay? And then come down. So we're going to practice that cut, that vertical cut, 10 times, okay? Try to move with me, okay? Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eventually we'll move, but for now, let's just do everything stationary. So that's our half cut, because we're not going all the way down. Now we're going to do our full cut. The half cut's a little easier, okay? So when we do the full cut, the beginning motion stays the same. When we come down, instead of our stopping point being here, we're going to keep the cut going and pull the back of the hilt. So we finish, the idea is like you chop them in half, okay? So that probably won't happen, but that's the goal, okay? Straight down, cut them, an imaginary target right down the middle, okay? So from the side view, so you can see how my hands work, I go back, and then when I come down, I'm pulling with that back hand, okay? And that gets me that extra power to finish the cut, okay? So let's do the full cut all the way down, 10 times. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So those are our vertical cuts. Okay? So you got the half and the full. All right? The technique on that is very, very specific. Okay? You have to make sure you're making as straight a line as you can make as you come down. If the sword wavers or the stick, whatever you're using, wavers, every time it does one of these, you're losing power. So you want to keep that nice, clean, straight line all the way through the cut. Okay? So now we're going to do some diagonal cuts. Okay? So the vertical cut, our goal is to hit, again, the forehead and just cut them in half, right? Now we're going to aim right here for the top of the collarbone on either side and cut diagonal. Okay? So the way we do that, we go back straight, and then if I want to cut this way, I'll turn my sword over and come down and then reset. Okay? So I'll go up behind my back, come over and down. Okay? So that way I'm cutting in a diagonal line. And then I come back to my basic stance. Okay? So let's try that one. I'll give you a back view real fast though. Okay? So I'll go back, over, and down. All right? What you want to avoid is what you see a lot in the movies, like, you know, all that stuff. That is not how sword fighting works. Okay? All that extra fancy stuff is wasted energy. You will get a lot more tired fighting with a weapon because they have weight, okay, than you would without the weapon. So just keep that in mind. No wasted movement. That's what this is all about. So let's try our diagonal cut. We're going to go this way. Just follow along with me. 1, back, over, and swing down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. That last one was a little shaky. Now let's try the opposite way. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay, that way you have, a good exercise, good workout. It's going to be a lot of shoulder stuff, okay? Especially if you have anything that's heavy. All right, now we're going to do horizontal cuts, okay? So we already came overhead, all right? And now we're going to cut straight across the body, okay? So the goal here is to hit them right at just above where your belt would be, where your taekwondo belt would be. You want to cut straight across the body there. Oh, Steve, the feed froze. So just to review, you want to do those 3 cuts that we just did, okay? Vertical and the 2 diagonal cuts. You want to do them in sets of 10, and you want to do the half versions, so come halfway down for all 3, and then come all the way down for all 3. Okay, so do 10 of each one of those cuts when you're practicing. Now we're going to get to our horizontal strikes. Okay, this one's a little trickier, so we're going to go nice and slow. So we're going to get to our ready position here. We're going to go back, just like we did with that first strike. Then we're going to drop our arms down and sweep across and reset. Okay, so one more time. Go back, pull it down, sweep across, and reset. Okay, a little side view here. Go back, down, strike across, reset. Okay, so we're going to do this side first. Ready? 1, go back, sweep, reset. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Now we're going to do the same thing, but on the opposite side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right. So let's put all of those cuts together. We're going to do them in a sequence. Okay. So we're going to go half vertical, full vertical, half diagonal, full diagonal. Same thing. Half diagonal, full diagonal, side cut, side cut. And we're going to do them all in a row in one set. Okay. So let's try. Ready? 1, half, full, diagonal, half, full, other side, half, full, sideways, and reset. Good. Let's try that again. Ready? 2, half, full, half, full, half, full, side, side. Reset, let's go again. Ready? 3, half, full, half, full, half, full, side, side. Good, and one more time. Ready? Go. Half, full, full, half, full, side, side. Very good. So, to recap, when we're practicing, okay? When we're practicing, I want you to do sets of 10. You do the vertical half cut 10 times. So that's this one, 10 times, the vertical half cut. Then the vertical full cut 10 times. Then the diagonal cuts halfway 10 times. Full cuts 10 times. Sides 10 times on each side. And then do one more set of 10 where you cover all of those basic cuts, one after the other in a row, just like we just did. Okay? That's a good way to practice and get better with your sword. Pretty quick if you do it every day. Stay disciplined with it. All right. Now we're going to review how to draw your sword and sheath your sword. Okay? So if you have a sword, a real one, it'll have a sheath. Okay? A sheath is what the sword sits in. Okay? So imagine there's like it's like a shirt that the sword puts itself in. It's like its clothes. You pull it out of the clothes, then it's just a bare blade. Okay? So your sword should always be starting in your sheath. Okay? Like this. Okay? So now I want everybody to hold their sword with just their left hand. Okay? So this is my left hand, this is my bad hand. So I hold my sword in my left hand so I can draw with my power hand, my dominant hand. Okay? So when you hold your sword in your sheath, you always want to grab it right at the top. So this is the handle of the sword here. I don't want to be holding it on the handle. I want to be holding it down here at the top of the sheath where the handle meets it. And then when I pull it out, I'm pulling it out of the sheath. Okay? So we're holding it here, putting it on our side. Make sure our grip is correct on the sword. Okay? So when we go to grab it, okay, we're going to get that same grip we had on the sword earlier. Okay? Where this is the back spine of the sword, the back side. We want the crease in between our thumb and our fingers to connect with that back part. Okay? So we're here. Ordering a katana for bed. Nice. Okay, so anyway, you want the crease in your hand to be right on the back of the sword here. Okay? And that's where you grab. Okay? And then when you draw it, you pull out, straight out. Okay? Straight out so the blade side points up and then do a half cut. Okay? So we're going to go real slow on that. So hold it in the sheath, grab the base, draw it out, half cut, and reset. Let's try it again. Ready? Draw it out, half cut. And let's try again. Draw it out, half cut. Now, we're going to go back over that, don't worry. We're going to practice the other part of that, which is putting our sword back in the sheath. Okay? So, pretend your hand is the sheath. Okay? You're holding it. Okay? What you do is you rest the blade on the open hole, which would be your hand here of the sheath. Then you draw the blade along it till you get to the point, and then put the sword in there. Okay, so side view. Once the point goes in, whoop, and then it's back in the sheath on your side. Okay, let's try that. You have the sword in your dominant hand. Your other hand, make a hole for it. If you're using a noodle or something a little thicker that you can't Get it in there, okay? Just open your hand a little bit bigger, slide it in. That'll be fine, okay? If you're using a piece of wood, like a stick or something, watch out for those splinters. This is what I was talking about. All right, so you have the sword on the handle, hilt or the shield on our side, or the sheath on our side. We slide it across and put it in. Now it's in the sheath. So we're going to practice drawing and then sheathing our sword over and over again. Okay, so let's try. We draw out, half cut, and now we're going to sheath it. Okay, draw and sheath it. Draw and sheath it. Draw and sheath it. And one more time. Draw and sheath it. All right, good. Add that to your set of 10. You do 10 draws and 10 sheaths over and over again, okay? Now let's add that to our list of cuts, okay? So we start with our sword in the sheath. We draw. We do our half cut, full cut. Half diagonal, full diagonal. On the other side, half, full. Then our horizontal strike, then sheath. Good. If that was too fast, I'm going to go a little slower on this one. So just try your best. So let's try. Ready? Draw, half cut, full cut. Half cut diagonal, full cut diagonal. Half diagonal, full diagonal. Horizontal, horizontal. Back to our sheet. Good. Let's try that again. Ready? Go. Draw, half, full. Half, full. Half, full. Side, side. Put it back in its sheath. All right, great job. That is going to be where we stop today. That's a good stopping point. That's a lot of the basic stuff that you would learn in your first class of sword training. So spend a lot of time on that, okay? Especially if you want to be good. Just like with nunchucks, if you want to be good with any weapon, want to be good with your, any type of martial art practice, you need to practice at it. It's going to require a lot of your time, a lot of energy, a lot of sacrifice. So just keep that in mind. If you're confused about any of the cuts or the drawing technique or the sheathing technique that we did today, we do have a little bit of extra time, so I can go back over things if you need to. So go ahead and type in the chat if something is confusing you or if you got caught up anywhere. Let me know. I'll give you about, 2 minutes or so. Nothing? Nobody has any questions? Did everybody enjoy this? Would we like to keep up with the sword practice? Or do we like nunchucks a little better? It's always good to know more than one weapon. I think sword and staff are my two favorite weapons because you can find a stick or, a broom handle or whatever pretty much anywhere, and you can use that as a sword or a staff, and you can use it for self-defense. So that's why I like sword and staff the most because it's practical for your everyday life. You know, worst case scenario, you're in, you know, maybe you're at your job. Like here, we keep cleaning supplies at our job. You know, some crazy guy comes at me, or a group of guys, I can grab a broom handle and fight them off with that using, you know, my staff training or my sword training. So that helps a lot, helps me feel a little bit safer with those weapons. Nunchucks are not as practical. I would say for the most part, not practical at all, because nobody just carries nunchucks around with them everywhere. If they did, that'd be real weird. So the good part about nunchucks and knowing how to use them is it's probably one of the harder weapons to use. So it can teach you a lot about patience and also about momentum and other things. So if you can get nunchucks down, then sword and staff are super, super easy. So that's why I like to do nunchucks first, because it's a weapon that teaches you about responsibility. If you don't use nunchucks correctly, you will hit yourself a lot and it will hurt a lot. So learning your lessons from nunchucks is a good way to start. I'm glad Bentley says thumbs up. Ben says yes with exclamation points. I'm glad you like swords, Bentley. Just keep this in mind, guys. Weapons training is still dangerous, even if it's with a pool noodle. And Colton and Gavin or whoever, if you have a brother or sister, it doesn't mean go sword fighting them at home in the house. You need mom or dad's permission to practice any of this stuff at home. So just keep that in mind. And also be aware of what's around you. You know, most of you guys did not pay for the things in your house. So if you're going around swinging weapons all over the place and breaking stuff, that's hurting mom and dad. So we don't want to do that. So just keep that in mind, especially when we're practicing. And that's it. I will see you guys later. Hopefully we'll have our outdoor practice today. It does seem to be raining for most of the day. If you're signed up for the first outdoor session, you will get an email if we're going to cancel by 5 p.m. So if you're not on the schedule for today, don't show up because we can only have 10 people in a group and we don't want to go over that. So just keep that in mind. If you're on the list for today, if you got an email from me, from Coach Dustin saying you are in the first group, your practice is on Friday at 6 p.m., we will send out an email and a text message by 5 p.m. if we have to cancel because of the rain. If we do cancel, our makeup day is most likely going to be next Tuesday. So just keep that in mind. That will be in the email if we do have to cancel when we're going to schedule it. So that's all I got. I will see you guys later. I'm glad you had fun. Practice, practice, practice.